Skate Season 4 is dropping in less than a week, so now is the perfect time to review Season 3 and give an honest review of what worked and what didn't. Now, the way I'm going to do this is by just a typical tier list. So as you can see, this is just your typical tier list. We have S to F tier. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I've locked in 14 points that were significant to Season 3, and we're going to rank them right now. So let's just get right into it. So starting off with the season's biggest visual move, the fluid flashback theme. Now, I personally really like the way they did this. The colors feel warm, everything feels really worn in, and especially looking back from the past season in the 80s where everything was super bright and flashy, this is a really nice change of pace, and I really enjoyed it. Especially how Rolling Waves looks this season is a really big plus point for me. And also the way they designed the block party was really cool. If you ask me, this has worked really well and the general vibe in the game is really good. I wouldn't know what else to change to accommodate for the 70s theme. Now, what I would have liked is some sort of development throughout the season, where either the block party moves around the city or there's something that changes throughout the season that makes you come back to the game and see something new, something fresh. As the 70s aesthetic is actually pretty nice and they executed it quite well, but it got quite stagnant and there wasn't too much change in the map. I think this is a very solid pick for the B tier. Moving on, we're gonna look at the skate.Pass. Now, I'm a bit conflicted with this because coming from the Season 2 skate.Pass to this one, there's a huge jump. The Thrasher, Vans, and Adidas merch was really good, and I can't lie, it looks really good. On paper, I'm a fan of it. However, the big problem that I still have is just with the general layout of the skate.Pass. The way it's structured, to me, makes really little sense. Because at the end of the day, although you have the option to use your ticks as you like and purchase the things that you want, or at least prioritize those, if you want any of the nice branded items or the nice gold items, you still have to purchase a lot of these smaller things that add up to huge amounts of ticks. Now, my main concern still remains that it's just a poor system, the way they designed it. The way it works, the way you unlock things, to me makes no sense at all. They market it as something where you have the liberty to choose and pick which items you want, but this is just something where you can prioritize certain items. In the end, you're still forced to buy a lot of these smaller items that are often just trash, but you have no way around it to get one of your branded items, for example. If you want the Adidas shoes, you have to buy a bunch of nonsense that you probably don't want and you're never going to use. Like, what's the whole point of even having the currency? It makes no sense and it makes no difference. Just do a normal battle pass like everyone else. And I mean, EA themselves, looking at Apex Legends, they know how to do this. You could do a simple XP system and it would make the progression much more linear. If you're gonna have to get these poopy ass items anyways, what's the point? Like, why do I have to save up 2,000 tickets so I can then unlock the ability to unlock the main item and then have to pay for that as well? That's ridiculous. Honestly, I can't fathom how they've come up with this idea. Anyways, it becomes such a chore. So although there's been a huge improvement, I cannot put it higher than a D tier until they fix the way the system works. So that's where it's gonna land. Moving on to Dark Catches, the main new mechanic addition this season. I personally don't use them much. I think the animations are done really well and they feel really smooth when you do them, especially like flipping out of things has become much more fluent than in previous games, so that's a big plus point. However, yeah, as I said, I just don't use them in the game. It's just not really my style or my thing. I'm happy they keep adding to the trick list. This is just a personal one for me, so I don't want to discredit the value that it obviously brings. So overall, this is going to be a C tier. And while we're at it, let's look at Footplants as well. It's the same bucket for me. I think the improvements that they've made are very good. The way Footplants feel now has been much better, much more coherent with how it should feel. There's some weight to it. There's some proper air that you can gather from it. But in the end, I just don't use them much. When I do, then it feels really good and I really enjoy it. But I think overall the way I pick my spots and the way I skate doesn't really coincide with Footplants. So this also goes to the C tier. Another quick one that we're going to look at is going to be Loadouts, which is actually something I wasn't thinking of. But now that we have it, it's fantastic. Having 3 presets for no additional cost is really nice. I think if you have multiple players, for example, that want to play on the same account, this is a really good solution. Other than that, it's really nice to just have the presets so you don't have to go and change your character entirely. Every time you want to change your outfit, you can just save a few and always come back to them in an instant. So overall, I think this is a bit of an underrated addition that we got this season. So for that, and for the convenience it brings, I think this is a super solid B tier. On to the next point for today. We're going to talk about the new spot in San Van. And honestly, now that I'm saying it, I actually forgot what it's called. I think it's the garage or the parking lot or something that they called it. Yeah, it's unfortunate. To me, it's been very forgettable. And I think I've skated it once the day that it came out just to check it out and see what there is. I know there's other people in the community that really like this spot and have skated it quite creatively, and I applaud that. But for me, this has just been really whatever, especially compared to the other things that they added this season, like the Isle of Grom. This has just really taken a deep dive and hasn't come back ever since, to me at least. So yeah, for that, I think this is a clear F tier for me. And it's purely because it just feels invisible on the map. There's no proper flow to it. There's just one sort of gap. Yeah, I just wish it would have been a bit bigger, had some better flow to it, and some more maybe obvious ways to skate it. Maybe it's my problem, but this just doesn't do it for me at all. And obviously the big addition for this season has been the Isle of Grom, the rework from the tutorial island that they did, which was long anticipated, and we finally got it. And I honestly have to say this was amazing. Firstly, I think I haven't seen this many people on a server since launch, and it was really amazing just to see everyone show up and continue to skate it to basically the end of the season. I don't think I've ever been in a server on Isle of Grom that wasn't full and where people weren't just sending it the whole time. And secondly, with the also important addition of the spillway section, which really gives you that vibe from Skate 2 and Skate 3, was just money. I can't think of a better way to execute a spillway section. Yes, sure, it could be longer, but given how limited space they had, this was amazing. The lines feel so good. It's so much fun hitting different angles. The challenges there are really fun. They're not too easy and combine a really good set of spots and lines. And I do think that Isle of Grom is the major point why Season 3 has encountered such a revival of the player base from the previous season. Loading in for the first time and seeing the sunset vibe and all the palm trees and the verticality of it all was such an important change of pace, and to me, really saved the season as a whole. If you want to ignore everything else and they just added Isle of Grom, I would have been happy. And on top of that, they also added a night mode further into the season, which just changed up the whole energy again. It felt like a real high point for the game as a whole. So for that and everything I've mentioned, this is going to be the easiest call for the whole video. This is a straight S tier. Next up, we're going to look at community parks, specifically the changes that they've made to them and the way they feel. I think in this last season, the community parks took a huge step up from the previous seasons, and the way they've designed them, especially the Goldcrest one, has just been on the money the whole time. I think especially for street skaters, this has been super fun, and from what we've already seen for Season 4, they're building on top of this, giving us new elements with different surfaces. So considering the big step up they've taken throughout the season and having some of the best parks created to date, I think this is a solid B tier as well. Now, Speedlines is something, again, where I question why they've added this. I think, for one, it's probably an easy addition to make, just to have the time trial variant of a normal challenge. Some of them feel a bit forced, and some of them are quite fun, especially on the Isle of Grom. It presents itself quite well through the verticality. I think moving forward, I'm not sure how they can design these things, as in St. Van, we just don't have this sort of verticality anymore. Overall, I think to me, this is all C tier. It works and it's fun, but I wish they would have pushed other game modes first. I just don't see this having much of a future. So I'm actually quite excited for this point, because I think the replay editor additions and the upgrades they've made to it have been standout. Not only did they add keyframes, features like tilt and roll and FOV controls, but they also added a whole new layer of effects on top of that. So everything a filmer would want is basically in the game now. And to me, someone that likes to film lines and get some quality clips, this has been unreal. Yeah, they've absolutely cooked with this. I don't have much more to say about it. If you record clips and if you like to film edits, this has been incredible. And if you do these things, I think you can agree that this is an A tier edition. The only thing that keeps it from being an S tier, I think it would be sick if we can get some presets going so that we can have the same look and feel for different clips without having to memorize and readjust every single setting every time that we get a new clip. So if we have that, then it would be a straight S tier. Until then, I think it just belongs in the A tier, which is obviously still amazing. Now finally, we're gonna get into the events, starting off with the smallest and almost a bit forgotten event, which was the Earth Day event. We got some nice cosmetics for this, and I really like the grip tape that we got. Apart from that, I don't know if you could even call this an event. Like, yes, the day happened and we got some cosmetics for it, but there wasn't anything in the map to show this or visualize this in any way. I think if you're gonna do something like this and, you know, go out of your way to mention Earth Day and have an event surrounding it, you could have had a small addition to perhaps the block party where you have something to skate specific for Earth Day. Just a nice spot. Doesn't have to be huge or anything, but just something where the gameplay is actually involved with the event too. As a whole, I think this just deserves to be D tier, because you can't really call it an event by just handing out some cosmetics. And I don't want this to come off badly, because the cosmetics were good. I just wish there would have been a little bit more to it, which is why I'm giving it a D tier. Now moving on to one of the main events, actually, was the skate.Paddy's event, where we had some really nice community parks, some challenges to go along with it, and a big selection of cosmetics. It was nice to have some decent challenges to earn some cosmetics for free, and we also had the option to buy some in the store. Now for someone that doesn't really do St. Patrick's Day in general, I like the nod to it, and it's fun. And I think the way they constructed the community parks was quite unique, especially the dragon one. That was really cool and unique, and I hope they do more of that in the future. However, especially compared to other events that we got this season, this just kind of blends into the previous events that we've had for the past 2 seasons. Like, you get some decent cosmetics, you have some community parks, but it's all just a bit rinse and repeat. So for that, this is a C tier for me. Moving on, next up is the Nike SB event, and that's how an event is done. Honestly, this had so much hype leading up to it, and it just delivered. The way they took the existing park on Isle of Grom and upgraded it to such a level where it was really unique and really fun to skate. I don't think I've ever seen as many people in a single location as on that Tuesday when it dropped. And yeah, what can I say? I mean, the cosmetics were great. You had some pretty cool challenges. I mean, yeah, what else is there to say? It was super solid. I don't think there's a single person that I've talked to or that I've seen online that didn't like the event. So as far as events go, I think this has set the bar. And for being such an upgrade, this deserves the A tier. Now our last point for today is also the last big event that we had this season, which was a creator event from ZexyZek. Obviously, if you're in the community, you know who this guy is, and there's no one who's more deserving of having such a collab. It was really great. I really liked that he got to voice his own lines. And unironically, he did the best voice acting in the entire game. Now, the challenges were really fun and really difficult. Some of them, especially the dark slide on that rail, it's honestly the pain of my existence. But back to the actual event. This has been super exciting to see, and I really can't wait to see which other creator events they're gonna do in the future. I think the people that I'm thinking of would do a really good job and have very different styles. So looking ahead, this really opens the door for a lot of potential and a lot of fresh takes to what the game can do. So yeah, this is obviously an S tier. To me, there's really no debate on this. And I just really can't wait to see what else is in store. All right, so now that everything is set in stone and on this list, I think I did a pretty good job. Let me know what you guys think. We've had some real highs, but also some lows, and we still have some big points to improve upon. But looking at the direction that we're going in, I'm very confident that things are just gonna get better as time progresses. And I really do believe that the devs at Full Circle are going all out and really doing an amazing job right now, especially considering where we started when the game launched and where it is now. The progression has been unreal, and I think we're going in a really good direction, and I just can't wait for what else is in store for us next season. And before you go, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really would help me a lot as I'm trying to get this channel going. Thanks, guys.